Good evening. Welcome to Town Council Public Hearing, regular meeting, April 11th, 2019. Can I get a roll call?
Present.
Holloway present.
Brown present. Rosen present.
Present.
Councilman Vice Mayor Bennett is on vacation and will not be with us tonight. I'd like to be known with our status. Can we rise for a moment of silence and a pledge of allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First is a public hearing. Tonight we have 3 items on the public hearing. 3 minutes per speaker. Item A is application for a conditional use permit to allow an accessory dwelling unit at 649 Randolph Avenue, tax parcel 83A3-1-422. Item B, application for conditional use permit to allow residential above the first floor commercial in a commercial 1 district at 209 Mason Avenue, tax parcel 83A3-1-638. And item C is renewal of a cable franchise agreement with Chesapeake Bay Communications. Anybody signed up?
We have 1 person each for items B and C. And for B, it would be Barrett Creek.
Mr. Reed?
Yes. Thank you. Please excuse my attire.
You state your name and address for the record, please.
Will Derek Creed, 114 Pine Street. And I just wanted to give my support for this project. It's very much in keeping with many other historic buildings and first level commercial. And by far, I think, comparatively speaking, what I've seen on the designs, the historic features of the building and the fascia has been really, a lot of efforts have been put forth by the owner to keep the building as is, and has gone over and beyond to preserve what we see as a historic. So I'm really excited. In Cape Charles, as a professional realtor, one of the things that is really hard and very little defined is living in place or any handicap condos available. So one of the proposals or the units, there are 2 units on the first floor which would be ADA, and that is something that I think is really needed in town. But I just wanted to say it's an exciting project. Everybody I've spoken to that's come through our office looking for something similar, we have no inventory in town at this time, and I think this project would complement the building and the town. So thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Reed.
Barry, I would just like to congratulate you. I've never seen brown paper on the windows so nice.
Well, you'll have to give it to the end.
Okay, so for 3C is Rob Harris.
Mr. Harris?
Hello, my name is Rob Harris, 527 Walbridge Bend. I'm the general manager at Chesapeake Bay Communications, and just a quick history, Chesapeake Bay Communications was started in 2004 to provide cable service to Bay Creek. We built out cable service into all of the neighborhoods. In 2014, we changed the name to Chesapeake Bay Communications, and our services include television services, over 200 channels, HD, standard definition, internet packages, and business and residential phone service. We have 7 employees. We're located right in town, 107 Mason Avenue. So we're here to talk about a franchise agreement. We have there's a franchise agreement for the cable television business. Chesapeake Bay Communications pays a communications tax off the franchise that then finds its way, some of which at any rate finds its way back to the town. So some of our funds come back. We had an original agreement in 2004 for a 15-year term, and that franchise agreement expires this month, and we're requesting a 5-year renewal. So hundreds of customers in Cape Charles rely on our residential and our business services, and we request the council to renew our franchise agreement. And I thank you very much for your support.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Team items or anything else? Can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Vote. Public hearing is closed. Recognition of visitors, presentations. Eastern Shore Virginia Tourism Commission update.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all so much for allowing me to be here tonight. For those of you who I have not met, my name is Robbie March. I'm the Executive Director for the Eastern Shore Virginia Tourism Commission. And I wanted to provide an update tonight in regards to the newly reconstituted Tourism Commission and answer any questions that you might have as well. So, and I've got just 2 handouts as we get into the presentation. So, just wanted to provide an overview of the new structure, talk about the top 10 goals that the Commission had put out back in January, and then talk about the funding request for the fiscal year 2020 that was presented last week as well. So to start off, I wanted to talk about the new structure. From a high-level view, the bi-county joint resolution on tourism for the Eastern Shore of Virginia reconstitutes the Tourism Commission in general, as well as the Tourism Board of Commissioners. Maintains the independence of the Eastern Shore of Virginia Tourism Commission in every way, while leveraging synergies between the Tourism Commission and the Eastern Shore of Virginia Chamber of Commerce. It moves the administrative office to the Eastern Shore of Virginia Chamber building there in Melfa, and then it specifically lays out a time frame of January 1st to June 30th. And during that time, both the Tourism Commission and the Eastern Shore of Virginia Chamber of Commerce would have the time to evaluate and take a look and make sure that it's achieving those synergies and cost savings that it was intended to do. But what does that really mean? So to kind of get into some of the details, and that's who and how the board of directors are chosen. It now consists of 7 board of directors, 3 voting members from Accomack County, 3 voting members from Northampton County, and then 1 non-voting ex officio member from the Virginia Tourism Corporation. 2 are appointed by the Accomack County Board of Supervisors. 1 is appointed by the Chincoteague Chamber of Commerce, chosen by their president. 2 are appointed by the Northampton County Board of Supervisors, and 1, as you know, is appointed by the Town of Cape Charles Town Council. And then the 1 non-voting member, representative ex officio again from the Virginia Tourism Corporation. It maintains the independence, as I mentioned before, as completely separate ruling bodies. The Board of Commissioners of the Tourism Commission is completely separate from the Eastern Shore Virginia Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, with no overlap between the boards. Completely separate financials, completely separate bank accounts, and separate staff other than 1 executive director, myself, overseeing both the Tourism Commission and the Chamber of Commerce, Eastern Shore Chamber of Commerce. And the main goal is to enable more of the existing money to go back into promoting tourism on the Eastern Shore of Virginia. Moving, as I mentioned before, moving the administrative office building to the Eastern Shore of Virginia Chamber of Commerce building there on Route 13 in Melfa. And the purpose of that is higher visibility for the Tourism Commission, saves money on the overhead, as well as providing an additional welcome center on the Eastern Shore to promote tourism. And during that 6-month time frame, It will save $3,532 per month, or during that the cumulative of the 6 months, saving $21,192 of existing money with this new arrangement during that time frame. And then another big plus is the increasing the regionally collaborative marketing efforts across the entire Eastern Shore of Virginia. A great example of that is as you know, the Virginia Tourism Corporation is celebrating its 50th anniversary of the slogan, Virginia's for Lovers, and the Eastern Shore of Virginia is going to be receiving $30,000 in marketing leveraging funds because of some of the synergies across the shore. As you know, Town of Cape Charles received a $10,000 grant from the Virginia Tourism Corporation. The Eastern Shore Virginia Tourism Commission received a $10,000 grant, and the Chincoteague Chamber of Commerce received $10,000. So it's going to be a great summer with $30,000 of extra promoting marketing money from the shore. The top 10, I'll just kind of quickly go over the top 10 goals and give you updates and some of these as well. These were established back in January. And these are no specific order, but goal 1 is fill empty positions due to attrition as well as retirement. There was 1 empty position, as well as the Welcome Center manager had already announced his retirement as of March 31st, so that was the top priority, is getting those positions filled. Also restructuring the staff roles and responsibilities to maximize efficiencies. We took the sales role away from the executive assistant position and formed a new position called the assistant executive director, and that person wears 3 hats. That person is the Welcome Center manager, going out and selling the rack space as well as the advertisements in the visitor's guide and so forth, but then also being that second face out in the community, visiting businesses. So if I'm in one meeting, that person will be able to go out and be at another meeting to be that second face for the Tourism Commission. And we created a marketing director position as well in conjunction with that. And actually, to back up, so on that one, to give you an update, we filled the executive assistant position that was empty. She started 2 weeks ago. We have recently hired the new assistant executive director. She will begin on April 25th. She was born and raised on the Eastern Shore, and she had moved to California. Her husband is in the Navy and going to be retiring the next month, and she'll be moving April 25th back to the shore to take on that. So more to come for her, but I'll definitely introduce her to you when she gets here. Goal number 3, prep to launch the new website that was initiated in 2017. And the big piece that has delayed that the new website launching is one of the perks and the benefits of the new website is people with events, tourism-related events on the Eastern Shore can go to the Virginia Tourism Corporation to add their event there, and it'll automatically feed to the new Tourism Commission's website. And there was an issue with the coding on the Virginia Tourism Corporation side that delayed that. That was identified, I believe, in late summer, early fall last year, and so that has recently, from the last week or so, been corrected, and so we're moving strongly ahead to get this. I'll mention a little bit later, but hopefully with the new website rolled out before the end of May for that. Create, print, and distribute the 2019 travel guide. Obviously, as you all know, last year there was a lot of uncertainty around the Tourism Commission, a lot of things going on. So understandably, there had been no work done on the 2019 Visitors Guide. Typically, advertisements are sold in July of each year, and it's printed by November of the year before. So as of January 1st, there hadn't been any work done on that. So getting a quality piece Visitors Guide to promote the entire Eastern Shore out as quickly as possible, but efficiently, and with making sure that we stay within the line item as well. And excited to say that was printed, that has been printed, it's now being distributed now as we speak. And so we're excited to work on that. And just to preface goal number 5, I always want to make sure that this goal number 5 is in no way, shape, or form to speak negatively or even allude to that to the previous administration or the previous executive director. But goal number 5, as of December 31st, 2018, there was a year-to-date budget deficit to overcome, and so that was goal number 5, is to achieve that and finish fiscal year 2019 in a positive net income. And right now we're projecting to finish the fiscal year 2019 with a positive net income. So Goal number 6, creating a strategic bi-county tourism marketing plan for growing tourism. That's in the process. The Tourism Commission will be having their strategic planning session next week to put that together. Organize industry-specific focus group workshops to sit down with a specific industry and talk about regionally collaborative marketing strategies, how we can gather more specific local data. We're very appreciative of Virginia Tourism Corporation's data that we're able to get from their efforts, as well as the data that we collect from the Welcome Center. But sitting down with those specific industries to get some more specific data that we can get by getting them in the same room together. And then also hearing from them, identifying obstacles that we can help them overcome the 90 per day of their growth. So, coordinate a 18-month budget, financial budget that is complete. It should be receiving that final report very soon. Goal number 9, the old saying, you don't fix what's not broken. The Southern Gateway Welcome Center there at the Bridge Tunnel has been a huge asset to the Eastern Shore of Virginia. Promoting tourism and so continuing and maintaining that success that Welcome Center has had. And then goal number 10 is laying the groundwork to reestablish a Middle Shore Welcome Center there at the Eastern Shore Chamber of Commerce on Route 13. So the update, I alluded to this a little bit earlier, the new website update by the end of May, we're looking to have that launched and unveiled. The 2 big pieces now are getting all of the touristic events that are taking place on the Eastern Shore, getting their events on the Virginia Tourism Corporation's website, which they would need to do, and then getting all of the tourism businesses on there with a listing. And so we're going to be, and that is one of the things I was going to ask for your help in spreading the word. On Thursday, April 25th, we're going to have a workshop, or it's basically any tourist business can come in. I'll be at the Osher Farm at Kings Creek from 10:30 to 2 p.m. there with laptops and can help walk them through adding if they have any questions and helping them to establish a listing on the Virginia Tourism Corporation's calendar, as well as submitting the survey. And we've created a quick reference guide to assist with how, step by step, how to do both the listing on the new website, as well as how to get to the Virginia Tourism Corporation's website and get the calendar of events on there as well. And so that information will be going out by the beginning of next week to the tourism industry to promote it, and then also with this as a PDF with the hyperlinks in there. And I'll have some for the audience if anybody wants any for after this meeting as well. The hyperlinks for the survey to have their listing on there is there, and so forth. So we'll have step-by-steps on there, but just let y'all know because this is literally in the works this week. So Thursday, April 25th is when we'll be having that workshop here. We're going to have 3. One at Cape Charles, 1 at the Chamber for the Middle Shore, and then 1 at the Chincoteague Center on Chincoteague. Okay, so the next handout I have there are the next 2 slides. Anyone that knows me, I'm a visual person, but I like to see it in front of me, so the next one is specifically speaking to the funding request.
We'll get along well.
I was waiting for that.
Not enough numbers.
I can send the spreadsheet that I worked out before I put the slide together. So the number 192. So obviously we put before you the $5,000 funding request for fiscal year 2020. But obviously, as town council, how do you recoup that? What do you the bang for the buck and the return on investment? So it takes 192 one-night occupancy visitors using the average of $200 per night stay, enjoying just one meal out at an average of $100 using a low figure there, And again, me being a visual person, just wanted to kind of break that down of where I got that figure, that I didn't just come up with it. Using the $5,000 funding request from the Tourism Commission that we presented, and utilizing the town of Cape Charles 3.7% top tax that you receive back, as well as the 5% meals tax. Utilizing that, you would need to generate $57,472 in sales revenue to achieve that $5,000 in tax revenue. And utilizing the 200 and the 100 average that I used for this figure, to take 100, there's where the $192 figure comes from. So 192, and that's not individual people necessarily. That's just 192 one-night occupancy rooms at the average 200, enjoying a meal out, just spending $100 at that meal. We'll recoup that. And then some figures on our Southern Gateway Welcome Center to sort of support that, utilizing the 2010 to 2018. The Welcome Center averages 303 visitors daily, averages 108,624 visitors. I'm sorry, let me jump back. Averages 303 visitors daily, 108,624 visitors annually. And recently, back in December 2018, celebrated its 1 millionth visitor at the Welcome Center since it opened up. And then I just also included the figure, it costs $81,757 annually to operate the Southern Gateway Welcome Center. So just wanted to open up for questions if anyone has any questions. Yes, sir.
Who are the present commission members?
Present commission members, Tammy Holloway represents the town of Cape Charles. John Coker is the chair of the Tourism Commission. He represents the Northampton County Board of Supervisors. Clarice McGarty represents that second appointee by the Northampton County Board of Supervisors. Adam James represents the appointee from Accomack County Board of Supervisors. And then Billy Joe Tar is the Accomack County Board of Supervisor. He is vice chair of the commission, and Evelyn Shotwell represents the Chesapeake Chamber of Commerce, and Stacy Martin represents the Virginia Tourism Corporation.
Another question, when I moved here 31 years ago, Cape Charles was the armpit of the shore without deodorant. Where do you place Cape Charles now on the tourism?
Extremely well. Well, walk down even in the wintertime, you guys are rocking. It's impressive. And I'm born and raised on the eastern shore of Virginia. My family dates back to the 1600s here on the shore, and my grandfather and my great-grandfather used to run dredge boats and charter fishing boats out of Kings Creek. So I've been able to see the progress of Cape Charles, as well as from that 2000 time frame when Bay Creek was built, and it started up and went down a little bit with the recession and back up, and now it's very clear that it's here to stay. It's amazing. So.
See, I came without your pedigree and saw a vision. My partner and myself saw the vision.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. You were here back in the
39 years.
Yeah, 90s or 80s.
87.
87. Absolutely. Yes. So thank you for it took.
I just saw my name and be unhappy.
But it took that vision of those like yourself, and Carol Bruce Evans, and some of the others that invested into the community back then, even before. So it's impressive. Met with the new business just yesterday, and Cape Charles is ready to open up, Long Mason, and all those new businesses in that new building. It's awesome. So.
Anybody else have any questions? Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time. And I'll just leave up here for anyone. I'll leave on that.
Okay, item B, recognition of town employees celebrating significant anniversaries. We're celebrating, we're appreciative, giving a certificate of appreciation to Deborah Pocock. She has been with us for 5 years, and I can't say enough of how wonderful a job she's done. I'm working with her as harbor master, and I'm working with her on a different level. And she's truly amazing, and just to see the work she does behind the scenes, citizens probably don't recognize what she does for the town. She's a treasure. Yes.
She's a tremendous help.
She's a tremendous, yes, she is. But anyway, I'm going to give this to Larry, if you don't mind, give that to Deb tomorrow, and tell her thank you very much. Up next, National Building Safety Month Proclamation. Anyway, with that being said, May of 2019 is International Code Council Building Safety Month. And we have Town of Cape Charles Proclamation 2019-0411A. Can I get a motion for the adoption of this proclamation?
So moved. Second.
I'll move for adoption of proclamation 2019-0411A, designating May of 2009 as Building Safety Month, as noticed, and forego reading of the proclamation. I get a roll call vote.
Holloway, yes.
And
Grossman, yes.
Birch, yes.
But I know it was unanimous. I think we'll continue on with this, so we'll see a whole lot to read. Item D is the 50th anniversary of the Municipal Clerk Week proclamation. Can I get a motion to adopt proclamation 2019-0411B, recognizing the week of May 4th through May 11th, 2019 as Municipal Clerk.
So moved.
Second. I get a roll, I'll move for adoption of proclamation 2019-0411B, recognizing the week of May 4th through May 11th, 2019 as Municipal Clerks Week, as noticed, and forego reading of the proclamation. Can I get a roll call vote?
yes.
Holloway, yes.
And yes.
Grossman, yes.
Birch, yes.
Up next is the National Peace Officer Memorial Day and Police Week proclamation. I'm going to ask for a motion to adopt proclamation 2019-0411C.
Second.
I'll move for adoption of proclamation 2019-0411C, designated May 15, 2009 as Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the week of May the 12th through May the 18th, 2019 as Police Week, as noticed, and forego the reading of the proclamation. Can I get a roll call vote?
Holloway, yes.
And yes.
Grossman, yes.
Birch, yes.
Votes unanimous. Up next is public comments, 3 minutes per speaker. Anybody signed up? Anybody signed up? Great. Consent agenda. Within the consent agenda is approval of the agenda format, approval of minutes, approval of February 28, 2019 financial report, and approval of the monthly department reports. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, may I ask that we pull out the financial report for one question, please?
Yes, we can. Can I get a motion can I amend the motion to accept the consent agenda with everything except the financial reports?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approval of the February 28, 2019 financial reports. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I have a question. This question follows up on from our budget work that we've been doing, and just it will help edify me. But as I look through this, I didn't see a notation about fund balance as to what the fund balance is. So there, do you know because that's, we're talking about that in the budget.
We'll make sure that's a regularly provided. I don't carry those numbers around with me.
Okay,
I'm not,
we'll just ask her for that, because I think that's gonna be a really important figure as we work on this budget.
yeah, there's nothing to hide, we can put it in.
No, I'm sure. Thank you.
It'll be regularly featured in the monthly report.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Any more questions? All in favor? Opposed? Unfinished business. Item A, conditional use permit 209 Mason Avenue.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, the required public hearing for the proposed residential units above commercial at 209 Mason Avenue. The required public hearing was the last procedural step that was held this evening. There was comments in support of. This application went to the planning commission, where they also held their public hearing. All the comments received by the planning commission were supportive of the project, and the recommendation of the planning commission was to approve the application as submitted, again with the treatment of the ingress-egress upon the completion of construction. And staff's recommendation is also what the planning commission's recommendation was, which is to approve this conditional use permit application as submitted.
Make a motion that we accept the staff report for conditional use permits application for residential units above commercial at 209 Mason.
Can I give a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Spectacular job, you
No?
I was just, first of all, it's great. I think it's very much needed. It'll be a significant development in Mason Avenue. I wasn't sure that I understood in the item specifics, and so, Paul, you might remember this, or Larry. It says that there was some discussion about the ingress-egress way and the curb cut off of Randolph, because that's an odd, if I remember correctly, right, that's come in all Randolph in like a 90-degree angle, and they run parallel to Mason Avenue.
Correct.
So it says there was, the commission was concerned about that, I guess, the curb cut and the improvements. And then following that, it says that they agreed that the accessway curb cut would be approved by the town upon completion of the on-site construction phase. Is that a private alley?
No.
Public alley?
Correct.
That's a public alley. Okay, I wasn't sure about that.
I think essentially what they could do is the same thing they did for the library, because it's a really deep ditch. Should you go there?
Yes,
down.
yes, it is very, yeah. So, how will that curve work at that 90-degree angle? You know, I'm talking about what, I don't even know how wide it is for sure. I remember looking last month when we had the materials, but it looked like it was really kind of a narrow shortcut.
It is that. Right now it's in a gravel and mud state.
So I'm not,
It'll probably continue to be in a gravel but less mud state upon completion. It's the way in and out of that property because there is no access through Mason Avenue. The alternative is the alley behind the library, but that also needs some improvement as well. So, once the construction phase is done, the town will get about the obligation of taking care of its property.
sure. Thank you.
There's also a recommendation for shared and satellite parking
So,
on the leased parking lot, which would accommodate any overflow.
Any more discussion? We got a motion to second. All in favor? Opposed? Passed unanimously. Up next, conditional use permit 649 Randolph Avenue.
There we go. So this is at 649 Randolph Avenue. This is an existing two-story detached garage with a garage on the first floor, and it's just vacant on the second floor. From what I know, it's just framed out. So they would like to convert the second story into an accessory dwelling unit. A certificate of appropriateness was approved at the February 19th Historic District Review Board meeting for exterior changes to the existing structure, which would allow the entrance into the dwelling unit from a balcony and stairs. There'll be off-street parking on the driveway, the existing driveway. Planning Commission recommended approval as proposed at the April 2nd hearing, and staff is recommending.
So we have a recommendation.
I'll make a motion that we accept the staff recommendation for conditional use permit at 629 Randolph to convert the detached garage into an accessory dwelling unit with dwelling located on the second floor and garage located on the first floor.
Can we get a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I want to congratulate you. The planner told me that you're going to do long-term rentals and not short-term rentals. Is that true?
That's correct.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you.
Very much.
With that being said, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll vote yes, that's the other question.
Okay. I just-
We'll check records here. And how about the metering for utilities as to that unit?
Yeah, they'll have to apply for that. It's not already hooked up. They'll have to offer.
We have a water line that has been run to it, but it has not been activated. And the original architecture on the place had the two units joined together by an addition. And that was scrapped when Kathy Glasser decided to sell the property rather than to develop it. And we have a box unit, electrical unit that is large enough to handle the electrical unit within the garage. So the water line has already been run. The only thing I think that would be necessary is attaching the outflow of the sewer.
So is this going to be, just to help me here, is this going to be a separate account?
Oh, this is coming off that.
No, not from theirs, okay. But just a separate account, but not a separate meter.
Correct.
Right, okay. Thank you.
Sorry about that. Anyway, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
New business. Plan and zoning, building and code fee schedule.
So the planning and zoning department and the building department are proposing updates to the fee schedule. These updates, you can see them there. If you have any questions on them, please let me know. Or if you want me to run through them, I can. The proposed changes, as you can see in the, I believe it's the second attachment, our clerk has provided what the advertisement fees have been to post, for all variances, conditions, permits, etc. And it's pretty high. And so these updates are taking into account that cost, and then also taking into account more accurately the staff time that it takes to do the reports. And then for the building, the proposed changes are more accurately to account for staff time and dealing with the above items.
Is it going to cover everything?
Yes, the updates should, roughly $200 per, I guess it would be like planning commission would be about $200 for the fees, and then town council will be $200 for the fees. So we took that into account when we put these in.
Recommendation?
Oh,
I'm gonna ask for a motion and get a second that we can discuss.
staff recommends approval of the fee schedule as proposed.
Okay, can I get a motion?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, just the tree removal without zoning clearance. What do you mean by that? If I just want to take a tree down, I'm gonna have to pay this?
No, so this is basically a fee for if you remove a tree without permission from the town.
Oh, without permission? Okay.
So that, to keep people from doing that, because they do have to, we have kind of like a replace in kind, so if you remove a tree, you replace a tree. We have a pretty pretty extensive tree master plan and ordinance. So in order to better address that concern for the town, I think that's why I'm proposing to put a fee.
Yeah, you may want to just clarify without zoning clearance what it means, just
Yeah.
what you say.
On the actual fee
Yeah.
schedule, we can do that.
Remove it, and you're gonna pay $300.
Yeah.
Do we gauge at all any other towns similar to us with regards to our fee structures here?
I did not, no. I took into account just what I thought would be the best. I mean, I took into account, I mean, we looked at, me and Jeb and Deb all sat down and we discussed these fees. We looked at what we brought in and just kind of compared that to what the staff
Did you look at the time you would spend on each of these types of things and equate it into, well, my salary divided by X is?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think they also looked at advertising fees.
Yeah, I could see that there was a lot of data
Yeah.
for that, so I appreciate that. Okay.
It's been a while too, hasn't it, since we've done any review of any of the extra fees, permit fees and such, I think.
Yeah, and our fees are very low from my perspective, so.
We don't have an
Especially for the
effective,
amount of the price of houses here.
effective date for this,
I'm not sure how that would work.
because we'd have to agree to fees effective particular date.
Ideally, July 1 to the budget.
Okay, that's fine.
Any more discussion?
Let's see.
Mayor, can I ask another question?
Yes, ma'am.
Zach, will this fee schedule, building plan zoning fee schedule that was adopted